Planet Dolan. From an obsessive clean freak to a psycho who put a cat in a washing machine, the Planet Dolan crew reenacts some of the best true stories from our subreddit about the most frustrating things our roommates have ever done. I'm Danger Dolan's mysterious brother, Zaraganbar, and today, I'll be your narrator. Number 10 was submitted by AciaXIII. When Melissa first started college, she moved into a terrible share house. She lived in a dark, creepy basement and her room was a Harry Potter style cupboard under the stairs. The basement had a makeshift door with no lock, a window that wouldn't close, and no electrical sockets. What made it even worse was the landlady lived there too and would store her dirty bike in Melissa's room. Every morning Melissa would start her day by tripping over that damn bike. Then there was the time the landlady spent money that Melissa had left out for the gas and electricity bills on cigarettes. Because the bills never got paid, the power and hot water ended up going off while Melissa was in the middle of a shower. Even though it was her own fault, the horrible landlady actually blamed Melissa for this. As you can imagine, Melissa didn't stay there for long. Number 9 was submitted by Raven Queen 1. Shima's roommate had an explosive temper. He got angry about stupid things like running out of milk and would smash up everything around the house. Even when he calmed down, he refused to clean up his mess or replace what he'd broken. One time he even yelled at Shima for not cleaning his mess up properly. Eventually, Shima had no choice but to ask him to leave. He turned into an overgrown toddler and went on one last rampage around the apartment. Fortunately, Shima filmed this and took the evidence to her landlord and the police. Number 8 was submitted by Windy's Son. When Ghost Toast was younger, he lived in a share house with his cat and one roommate. The roommate made it obvious that she hated cats, so Ghost Toast's kitty avoided her. One day the roommate took it upon herself to clean Ghost Toast's room. She grabbed a pile of dirty clothes from under his bed, put them in the washing machine and put it on a low cycle. She'd also picked up Ghost Toast's cat, who often slept under the bed. She claims she didn't realize the cat was in the pile, but that's obviously cat-hating bullshit. Ghost Toast heard his beloved kitty meowing in distress and raced into the laundry to rescue it. He took the poor thing out of the washing machine and raced straight to the vet to treat its head injury. Luckily the cat survived and eventually gave birth to 9 kittens. Ghost Toast's roommate, on the other hand, was thrown out on the street. Number 7 was submitted by ToastyTony. One time, Tolop had to fly interstate to visit his mum. He told his roommate to look after their apartment while he was gone and specifically said no parties, as his roommate's parties always got way out of hand. Unfortunately, when Tolop was at the airport waiting for his flight, he realised he'd left his ticket at home. He had to race back to his apartment where he found 50 drunk strangers partying in his living room. Tolop yelled, "Get out!" and marched into his roommate's room. His roommate was drunk and naked, even though Tolop had only been gone for like 2 hours. Tolop went to get his ticket and found his entire room was trashed. His plane ticket had been ripped into pieces and scattered all over the floor. Needless to say, Tolop missed his flight because of this. The next day he made his roommate clean the whole apartment from top to bottom. Number 6 was submitted by Thetexaslandmanatee. Andy and her boyfriend have the most annoying roommate ever. He always rearranges their things and does super loud and inappropriate things. Every morning when he makes his breakfast, he slams the fridge and cupboard doors 5 or 6 times. And late at night when everyone is asleep, he slams the bathroom cabinet door many times. He also has no concept of personal space and often just walks in on Andy when she's changing or being intimate with her boyfriend. He doesn't even realise he's being inappropriate when he does this. He just stands there awkwardly making conversation. Andy can't wait until this creepo moves out. Number 5 was submitted by Conveniently So. One day, Emoji moved in with an old guy who was renting out his apartment online. Emoji had spent years living with loud, messy young people, so he was looking forward to having a roommate who was quiet and tidy. Be careful what you wish for. At first things went okay, but then the old guy revealed his inner crazy. It turned out he was completely obsessed with cleaning and would lecture Emoji about it every single day. Emoji considers himself a tidy person, but this guy treated him like he was a total slob. Every time Emoji touched something like a drawer or a door handle, the old guy would yell and force him to wipe it down with a sterilized cloth. If Emoji took a shower or used the sink, his crazy roommate would make him wipe down every single droplet of water. Sometimes he'd wake Emoji in the middle of the night just to tell him about a speck of dirt he'd forgotten to clean. Emoji no longer lives there, but he's still traumatized by the memories. Sometimes he wakes in terror after dreaming about sponges and cleaning products. Number 4 was submitted by LadyLolipop. Honeybits has 3 roommates, 2 who are awesome and 1 who's an inconsiderate slob. Even though she's a full-grown adult, this horrible roommate doesn't know how to wash dishes, vacuum, shop for groceries, do laundry, or even change a frickin' toilet roll. She constantly steals her roommates' food and barges into their rooms without knocking. But the thing that frustrates Honeybits the most is that she's never once taken out the garbage, even though she walks right past the garbage room whenever she leaves the apartment. One day Honeybits got really sick and had to stay home from work. She told her roommates she would be sleeping all day and not to disturb her. But sure enough, Honeybits' horrible roommate barged into her room carrying 2 big bags of stinky garbage. She dropped the bags on the floor, putting bin juice everywhere, and said,
"Hey, Honeybits, take these to the garbage room. I'm going for Starbucks."
Honeybits gave her the evilest stare anyone has ever given. Her roommate's face went completely pale and she said,
Okay, maybe I'll do it then.
Number 3 was submitted by CaptnHarryButtBeard. My brother is a nice guy. When he was 19, he let a girl stay with him who was down on her luck. He didn't try anything pervy or anything. She slept on the couch while he slept in his bed. Things went smoothly during the day, but at night they got a little weird. Every once in a while, Dolan would wake up in the night to see this girl standing in his doorway. She would just watch him. Dolan casually brushed it off, but he still found it creepy as hell. One day he pretended to stay asleep to see what she did. While peeking slightly, he saw her take off her pajama pants, squat down, and take a huge shit in his doorway. Dolan was absolutely stunned. It smelled so bad. When she was finished, she seemed to snap out of her weird trance and hurried to clean it up before anyone noticed. He couldn't figure out why she would do this. Needless to say, she didn't stick around for long after that. Number 2 was submitted by poofybirddesign. A few semesters ago, Pandora had a college roommate who was the president of the school's only sorority. Things went okay at first, but then the roommates started holding sorority meetings in their dorm room. This would go on until 3 AM, making it impossible for Pandora to sleep. Their dorm was always full of frat boys, and no matter what Pandora said, the roommate refused to stop. Eventually, the sorority leader started bringing her boyfriend over and having sex in the middle of the open format dorm room in the middle of the day. They did this in front of a clear plate glass window, so Pandora's neighbours across the way had to buy eye bleach too. When Pandora and her other roommates confronted her about this, the evil roommate brushed it off, saying it was okay because they were quiet, as if that somehow made them invisible. It was the worst semester Pandora ever had. Number 1 was submitted by me. The most frustrating thing a roommate of mine has ever done has just been chuck out some of my food. I was at university and living on a shoestring budget, and what that sometimes meant was that some food would stay in the fridge for maybe a few days longer than it should have. I'll always remember coming home one time and just really wanting a lasagna I'd made a couple of days earlier and finding it in the bin. And I was absolutely devastated, and I never forgave him for that one lasagna. Jake, if you're out there, lasagna. A huge thanks for the folks over in our Planet Dolan subreddit for submitting their stories. We have another question for you. What's the worst temper tantrum you've ever seen? Let us know in the Reddit page link below and you might be featured in a future countdown. Well, that's it for this countdown, but catch you guys next time.
They're talking to someone, and while she was talking, the boy was looking around for a bathroom. He then saw a shop that was selling training toilets for kids who were just learning how to get to the toilet. The boy ran up to one of them, pulling down his trousers, sat down and took a crap in public.